So in this video, I'm gonna talk about what is probably the #1 scam and #1 issue that goes wrong with AC units. It happens every year and it's happened to pretty much every single one of you. And that comes down to this item right here, which is a capacitor. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I go about doing this. Usually takes me around 5 to 10 minutes in total. And I'm also gonna show you this item right here that can also be installed that can make all of this so much simpler. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so here is my AC unit. Where I want to get to is in this compartment right here. But the first thing I always want to do before I do anything working on my AC unit is I want to go to the disconnect. And I want to open up that disconnect box, pull the disconnect out just like that. I can either turn it upside down like this, put it back in, and it doesn't make the connection. Or in my opinion, it's always safest just to put it on top. That way I know it is not going to be a possibility of being reinserted the wrong way, or I should say the right way, and there's still being power. So the power is now disconnected. All right, so now that the power is off to my unit, now I need to remove the screws that are holding this panel on. And the way I'm gonna go about removing these screws is with this right here. So in this case, for these screws going around here in almost every AC unit, you need a 5/16 nut driver. So this one of course has that, and then it has a bunch of other options. There's a 1/4 inch, that's another very common one for AC units, which I will use here in just a little bit. And of course, like always, for your convenience, I'll have affiliate links for this screwdriver along with all of the other tools, materials, everything you'll see in this video. I'll have affiliate links for those down in the description down below and a QR code up on the screen that is attached to those affiliate links so that you can check out all of these for yourself. All right, so I've got my 5/16 nut driver. I'm just gonna take it now and go to all 4 of those screws, turning them counterclockwise and removing them from the panel. And then once I have all those screws removed, I'll just take the panel cover, slide it down and away from the unit. Now, before I go to doing anything with this, even though I've already disconnected the power, I just wanna make sure that before I start touching anything, the power is in fact off. I'm not missing something. And so I can do that very easily by using this clamp meter or a multimeter of some sort and just putting it over here to voltage alternating current. And the way I'm going to test this is when power is connected, it is coming in through our conduit down here at the bottom and into the bottom of the contactor here. I'll take one probe, put it on my ground down here, and then I'll check each leg independently. So the left side first, got no voltage. Second side or the right side, also no voltage. So as you can see by doing this, I have now confirmed that the power is in fact off and I can start working on this. Now before I start touching this, even though I've got the power off, sometimes these can act as a little bit of a battery. They can retain a little bit of a charge. So what I always like to do with this is just take a screwdriver like the one I'm using, and I'm gonna go from contact to contact to discharge this capacitor if it needs to be discharged. So on the top of my capacitor, I can see where it says C, that means common. So I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to go from that to my hermetic terminal. And then on the back side, which you can't really see from this angle, there's another terminal back here. And I'll just touch from common, then to that fan terminal. And so now the capacitor should be completely discharged. So some of the first things that you want to look out for to where you may not even need a tool to really test this. I mean, I'd always use one just to confirm. But if your AC unit was to be opened up and say, for instance, you saw on the top here, there was some mushrooming going on either on the top or on the bottom, or if you were to see fluid leaking out of this, almost always, if not always, going to tell you your capacitor is bad, or at the very least, it's about to be very, very bad. However, they a lot of times don't show that. Anytime I've had a problem with one of my capacitors personally, it's looked completely normal, but then when I go to test it, it doesn't test out properly. And the only way to properly do this is all of these wires need to be removed from the capacitor. If you test it with the wires on there, it is not going to test out right. But before we remove these wires, and this goes especially for homeowners and DIYers that are doing this that don't really understand where each wire is supposed to go, you need to make sure that you go in with a camera. This is my recommendation. Go in with a camera and take pictures of where each one of those wires is connected to which terminals and where on the terminals. This way, once they're disconnected and we go to install a new capacitor, or if this one tests out to be fine, reinstalling this, we know exactly where those wires go. And again, on most of your capacitors on the top, it should label what each one is. So C is for common, HERM or HERM, that's the hermetic terminal. That's actually going to your compressor. And then if it's a dual run capacitor like this, you'll also have one that says fan. So definitely want to note where those are as well. All right, so now I've got my pictures. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove all of my wires from this capacitor so I can go ahead and test it. All right, so it's at this point now, I could test it here in the unit, but to give you guys a better visual, I'm going to go ahead and remove this capacitor. And this is super easy to do. There's usually one, or in this case, two screws that are holding these bands on, that are holding the capacitor inside of the unit. So all I need to do now is use my nut driver again, but in this case, I'm going to have to use the quarter nut driver and not the 5/16 nut driver. And once both those screws are removed, it'll come out just like that. One thing I do want to note is in this case, the label was facing out. You always want to do that. So anytime that you need to reference it, all you got to do is take the panel off and you can see it right there. All right, so here is the capacitor that I just removed from the AC unit. So this is very easy to test. As you can see, we've got our 3 terminals up here on the top. So I'm going to go ahead, set this down to where the common terminal is pointed towards the bottom of the screen. And now this is where we take a multimeter, and I've already got it set to where it needs to be, but we'll just start from off. I'm going to go ahead, turn it over to here. We want capacitance. So I'm going to go ahead and move it over to that setting. And so what we want to do now is we want to test from the common to the Herm and then from the common to the fan. And what we're looking for is, again, look at your label, the 70 and 5. Those are the 2 numbers that we really want to look out for. That what looks like a UF, that's the microfarad symbol. And we're going to want to look for these numbers, when we measure each one of them, to be within 6% on this particular capacitor, be within 6% higher or lower than the rated value here. Anything outside of that, then the capacitor really should or needs to be replaced. Another thing you want to pay attention to is when you get a replacement, just make sure you're matching up these numbers. Now, there are some other options out there, which I'm going to show you how to install that makes all of that a whole lot easier, takes all the guesswork out, and that comes down to this capacitor right here. This is the Turbo 200X. This is their larger one. There is also a 200 model, which is a little bit less. But this right here will work on pretty much any AC out there, regardless of tonnage or size. So it takes all the guesswork out of it. So there's a lot of advantages to using this one, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But to test this out, to make sure that this is actually bad, which I'm pretty sure in this case, this one is not actually bad, we need to go, again, I've got my common terminal down here on the bottom. I'm just going to take my probe and put one on that common terminal, and then I'm going to go to the fan first. And again, we're going to be looking for that 6% plus or minus of 5 microfarads. So I'll go ahead and put that on there now. And as you can see, we're getting about 4.91, yeah, right around 4.91 microfarads. So that's well within the limits of 6% of the 5 microfarads that should be there as long as this capacitor is still good. So we know the fan side is good, but now let's do the hermetic side or the Herm side. So again, one on common, one to Herm, and we're looking for within 6% of 70. And as you can see there, 68.7. So again, we're well within that limit of 6% plus or minus. So like I expected, because I wasn't having any issues, this capacitor is still good to go. This one right here is a bad capacitor. Just really quickly, I'm just gonna do that same thing. We're gonna go to fan first. Same exact ratings, should be 5 within 6%. As you can see, it's showing 7.14. That's reading a little bit high. So to the fan side, we're not good. So now let's go to the hermetic side. Again, we're looking for within 6% plus or minus of 70. And this is something you might see if it's really bad, is this thing is all over the place. So again, anytime you're outside of those ranges, you know that the capacitor is bad. It needs to be replaced. And again, especially if it's showing it's ranging all over the place like this one, this capacitor is 100% bad. And if your AC unit was not working, this just confirms that this was the issue. But how does this work? How can this be a universal capacitor where it can work on pretty much any size AC unit that is out there? Well, if we look up here at the top, don't pay attention to the CPT orange. That's more so for a hard start kit. But you're going to see we have all different microfarad values going all the way around the top of the capacitor. So how do we get to 70 with this? I didn't see a 70 on here, and we need 70. Well, when you get one of these, in the box, there will also be jumpers with it. And so all we would need to do to make this work and have 70 microfarads is first, I'm going to locate the 50. So that's that purple one there. And then right next to it, this yellow one is 20 microfarads. 50 plus 20 equals 70. I would just need to take one of these jumpers, put one of them on the terminal for the 50, and then take the other one and put it on one of the terminal posts of the 20 microfarad posts. And so now we have 70 microfarads, at least the rating for it, and this will now work in my unit. And so maybe you just need 30 microfarads. Well, all you'd have to do is put a jumper then from 20 to 10. Whatever range is going to get you to the rating that you need, that's just what you run a jumper to. So super handy, takes all the guesswork out of it. But like I mentioned earlier, I'll have affiliate links for everything in the description below, so you can check out the different price differences and also see which one might work out better for you as far as what your needs are. All right, so now we're back out here at the unit. I'm going to show you both ways, whether using the turbo capacitor or a new standard capacitor. This won't take any time at all. So we'll just really quickly start with the standard capacitor. Again, this is where taking a picture is going to come in handy so we can see where each one of these wires go. So I've got my brown wire that's in here in the back. That goes on the fan terminal. So just slide it on there just like so. Then I've got this blue and orange wire right over here. The orange wire actually goes to my soft start kit. That goes on the Herm terminal. And then the blue wire, that also goes on the Herm terminal to the compressor. And now I've got these two yellow wires here, and both of those go on my common terminal. And then it's at this point I could go ahead, take the strap, slide it back onto that capacitor, and then screw it back into those holes in the unit right there, holding it in place. So again, same kind of principle here. For the fan terminal, what was that one at? That was at 5 microfarads. So we're going to go ahead and connect the fan wire, which again for me is this brown wire, to the 5 microfarad terminal right over here. So that one's connected. But then when we get to the Herm or compressor terminals, where in this case, again, those aren't labeled, but we needed 70 microfarads. That's where this jumper is going from 50 to the 20 terminal. All I would need to do is take the wires that would normally go on my Herm terminal, and I can put it on either one of these terminals here that have the jumper on them. So I'm just going to go ahead, again, my orange wire is for my soft start. I'm going to put that on that one purple terminal there, and then the blue wire that goes on the Herm, I'm going to put it on this other purple terminal there. And then last but not least, we've got these two remaining yellow wires, and those go to the common terminal, which again is right here in the center of this particular capacitor. And now the Turbo 200 is now all hooked up and ready to run. Now all that's left to do is put the panel cover back on the AC unit, slide it back up into place, and then tighten down each one of the 4 screws. Just want to make sure that they are hand tight. All I need to do now, go back to my disconnect box, take that disconnect, reinsert it back into it, push it in, close up the box. Now I've got power going back to my unit. Now I just want to make sure that I turn the unit on and make sure it's not making any weird sounds. It's starting up properly. And then you'd want to go inside, obviously feel at your registers, make sure you've got cool air coming into it. All right, so as you can see in here, no weird noises, started up exactly like it's supposed to. Got cold air coming out of my vents again. As you saw, not rocket science, super easy to not only test, but replace a capacitor. And just really quickly, if this is something that you ever end up trying to do yourself a favor, have the right tools. And so like always, for your convenience, I will have affiliate links for all the tools and all the materials you saw in this video from the different capacitors. I'll have some different sizes, but I will have affiliate links for everything down in the description down below, and a QR code up on the screen now that can be scanned with a smart device so that you can check out all of this for yourself. And I hope this was helpful for you. I've got some other videos I've done in the past that I hope can also help you out, from doing maintenance on your AC that is going to increase the efficiency, make the air colder, make your electric bill a whole lot less. And then I've got other videos where I go over some of the top scams, if you will, that you really need to be on the lookout for when it comes to AC repairs and maintenance. So if any of those would be of interest to you, I'll have links for videos right over here. All you have to do is click on whichever one interests you the most, and it'll take you directly to it. But I hope that you found value in this video, and if you did, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button right down below. And of course, if you have any questions or comments still, you can leave those down in the comment section. I'm Adam with How to Home, and I'll catch you in one of those next videos.